the Online Strength Coach Podcast, episode 67, deal with quad tendonitis. Hello and welcome to episode 67 of the Online Strength Coach Podcast. As usual, I'm Marc. Today is Thursday, the 21st of January 2016. Today's question comes from the comment section on YouTube of episode 66. Marc, I'm suffering from some quadricep tendonitis. I think what kicked off the particular bad pain was the increased weight when I added in knee wraps in November. Through December, I had pain in both knees, even during training. I rested for a couple of weeks and they began to feel good. I tried some squats again on Sunday, but they began to hurt again the next day. Can you talk about how to fix this? Perhaps talk us through a rehab plan. I'm prepared to stop all squatting temporarily, needs be, but I need to be squatting long term. Okay. Interesting question. Very specific, which is good. A good base to work from. But preface all this by saying that I've worked a lot with physios and rehab specialists. I am not a rehab specialist or physiotherapist, so you may take this as advice and maybe not the advice of a professional. Please don't sue me. Especially not Americans, but you can't do it, man. Okay, so basically tendonitis is a load issue. It's either you load the tissues or the tendons too much over time, so there's too much volume or too much intensity for too long a period, and the tissue hasn't got a chance to remodel, it hasn't got a chance to recover, to replenish, or you increase intensity or volume sharply, like very sharply, without building up to, you're just going to jump from 80% to 100% and try to train there for a while. And actually, all of these are a response to load, as a lot of physios will say load, or a lot of medical professionals will call load. And load is a kind of catch-all term with everything. It's just stress on tissue. Whether it be mechanical load in the gym, or may it be reactive load during plyometrics, or mechanical and reactive load from just volume of running, volume change direction, volume of time off feet, volume training. It's just all lumped in one term, which is called load. Okay, so normally what will happen is you'll get to a point where the tendon doesn't get a chance to, so basically tendinopathy is caused by the collagen fibers, which are what makes up your tendon. Kind of the actual fibers themselves become a bit more spread apart, becomes less dense, and it causes inflammation response. Now, the actual mechanism of this might be a little bit off because it's not my specialty. Basically, as I understand it, the inflammation response happens inside the tendon. That inflammation response, what I would presume, cytokines and macrophages kind of spread apart the collagen. And the collagen fibers will actually give the tendon its properties, give it this kind of elasticity, its toughness, and its extreme tension or extreme strength under tension. So this kind of degrades the tissue, and then over time, it's like getting an elastic band and naked an elastic band with a compass. So you put little holes in the elastic band, and then it gets less stretchy. The more you use it, the worse the holes get. And it's kind of like a vicious circle until eventually it snaps, as far as I understand it. But that's kind of the body's regulatory mechanism. Up to you getting to that point where you load it to the point of catastrophic failure is tendonitis, pain, response to load, basically to the point where you can't really train and function properly because you're in pain. Okay, so that's kind of the background of it. So in your case, or in your scenario, my inference would be that you've trained out of wraps for ages. So I don't know what your strength levels are, but let's just say you're squatting 150 for 565. Out of wraps, on a regular basis, just in a belt, maybe not even with knee sleeves on, and then you put knee wraps on, and then did like a more of a prolonged training cycle in wraps. And then you just took the jump straight away. So maybe doing 150 for 5 sets of 5. That jumps up to 170 kilos for 5 sets of 5 because all of a sudden you got much better rebound at the bottom, you're a lot stronger in your squat, and you can handle much heavier training loads that you're training. So what you've done there, you jump intensity, and you kept that intensity going for a period of time to train towards a meet, or whatever the case may be. And what this is called a sudden jump in intensity without giving your tissues and your body a chance to catch up with that jump in intensity. So basically what happens is the supporting structures of the knee, the tendons, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, all the insertions around that area. If you train with nothing, so you train with no belt, no knee sleeves, even no shoes to the extent, but like knee weightlifting shoes are maybe a slightly different issue. They don't actually aid so much, they just give you a better position when you squat, more of a flexibility aid. What happens is, as you get stronger, your squat gets stronger, all the supporting areas, the lower back, the glutes, your abdomen, your knee, they all get stronger together. And if it's programmed correctly and there's enough time, so like you build in lower intensity periods of training, lower volume periods of training, undulate volume and intensity cyclically, and allowing those time or those lower times or those easier times, weeks, months, to allow for the remodeling process to take place, for the allow for the recovery process to take place, then tendonitis becomes less of an issue. Tendonitis is probably an issue that every lifter is probably going to have to deal with at some stage in life. If you live for 30, 40 years, it's pretty much impossible not to get to that point. I myself suffered from knee tendonitis. That was fucking painful. Probably took me about 6 months to get back into proper training. And that's because it was similar. I was doing like, I was overreaching all constantly. And my kind of thing was that I was using a belt, using Rehab training, shooting for PB pretty much week on week. Was following the little bridge sort of training idea where you squat heavy 1 week, and you lift heavy the next week, you kind of flip flop. So that actually puts you in a scenario where you're fresh pretty much for each session or each of those rep PB sessions, and you can push yourself to a PB, push yourself probably harder than you can push yourself normally, and over time I was hitting huge PBs, but then eventually I got tendonitis, and then I stopped training for 6 months, and now something PBs, funnily enough. Okay, so this specific, so how can you combat this basically is the question, and I'll spend about 10 minutes framing the question. It's quite a systematic process, quite an easy process to plan. It's not an easy thing to implement, because it's going to require a fair bit of self-control. There's going to be, like, it's kind of hard to say, certainly I don't really have the knowledge to say on what timeline your tendon is going to react well, but I can give you guidelines. So let's just say off the bat that you're going to need, let's say, 3 weeks of complete rest from squat. During that time, you can take low doses of anti-inflammatory drugs, ibuprofen, the like to kind of cope with pain. You can ice. Your knee is particularly sore. For the first week, probably you want to ice maybe every night, maybe 5 minutes, and then maybe just take. I don't want to give you doses or anything, but like taking some anti-inflammatory drugs will help with the pain, healing process. So let's say you do that for a week. So week 1's total rest for that. Week 2 to 3 is then total rest with some heavy eccentric training, or what we call, or what's called heavy slow resistance training. But what we use to combat to contact patella tendonitis. So it could be actually patella tendonitis and not quadricep tendonitis, unless you've had that diagnosed, but my inkling would be it's probably going to work as well. So basically the protocol goes as thus. 3 sessions a week. You use a 3-second up, 3-second down tempo. You follow a 10-week cycle, so you're going to follow this for 10 weeks. And you're going to use leg press, hack squat if you have a hack squat. If you haven't got a hack squat, then you're going to use split squat instead for the first 2 weeks, and then you're going to introduce box squat on the 3rd week. So you'll have 3 exercises done 3 times a week to this protocol. The protocol is 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 15 reps, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 12 reps, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 10 reps, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 8 reps, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 6 reps. And then you lift as heavy as you can within those guidelines. So that gives you a 10-week program, 2 exercises, 3 sessions. In the first 2 weeks, introduce block squat. In the 3rd week, so it'll be week 1 will be total rest. Week 2 to 3, you'll be using heavy slow resistance training. You'll continue your icing, continue your low level of ibuprofen or anti-inflammatories, and introduce these protocols with leg press and a split squat or a hack squat for the hack squat, but split squat will do. And then from week 3 to 11, you'll introduce box squat using that set rep protocol. So 3 sets of 12, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 10, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 8, 2 weeks, 3 sets of 6, 2 weeks. And then 4 sets of 4, 2 weeks. So that's your 10-week program there. 3 times a week frequency, using those exercises. Then when you've done that, what you can do then is start to train back squat as per normal. So do like an introductory cycle back in the back squat to go firing into it. So full range back squat, no belt, no knee sleeves, and probably do 3-week cycle, 3 sessions a week. Week 1, 5 sets of 5. Week 2, 5 sets of 4. Week 3, 5 sets of 3. Done at 50%, 6%, 70%. And then over 3 weeks at 5% each one of those sessions. So by the end of it, you should get up to like a sort of training weight. And then from there, I would begin to include squat in my training again. Start off with a frequency of 1 or 2 times a week, and just use a fairly low level program to begin with. Don't go right in with high intensities or high volumes. And then over time, just gradually creep up systematically your load using a 3-week or a 4-week waiver cycle to get where you want to go. And set arbitrary rules. So they are arbitrary. Like I can't really tell you how quickly your tendons are going to remodel, how quickly you're going to be back to where you were. But over time, let's say you do absolute maximum of 10 kilos in working weight every 4 weeks, which is probably a bit fast. Maybe 5 kilos in working weight every 3 weeks. And starting the first week of every program very light, and then building up as you go. So I'll do a little writing somewhere in the description. That's pretty much the nuts and bolts of it. You're also going to want to work on a lot of like core work. You're going to work on glute activation, muscle extension, abduction. You're going to want a really sound kind of mobility, flexibility routine. So something like the number 11 with some additional like a band hip abduction, kind of like banded hip thrusters, kind of single leg glute bridges, planks, side planks, parallel presses, things like that. Just kind of build a bit more of a robust or a bit more of a balanced kind of lower body, kind of, you know, the voodoo shit, like the core stability, the glute strength, the activation, all that stuff. That's very good, and it really will really put you in good stead when you get back to training properly, and then you can kind of reduce it down to like a maintenance level, or just part of your warm up. You want to do the same thing, the heavy slow resistance. You want to keep a low level dose of that, maybe once a week on the leg press, maybe just follow the same cycle, but shorten it down to 5 weeks maybe. That will help. Like we've had very good success with a lot of athletes using that protocol with knee tendon athletes, specifically the patella tendon athletes and ass elbow. So, but initially the first thing, load management, is going to be the big thing for the first 3-4 weeks, just to give your tendon a while kind of chill out. and you really talk like a 3 to 6 month kind of process to get yourself back to kind of PTs in the gym. Could be 3 months, like it could be 2 months, but just to kind of give yourself the breathing space, so you're not rushing 3 months before they get time like break. And of course, what I would do is negate everything I just said and go see a physiotherapist and get that worked out with it. But yeah, if you want to follow this, then you just go at your own risk, as I say. But it was me, that's not what I do. Thanks very much for your question. Hopefully that wasn't 27 minutes today. Just 16 minutes instead. I won't be back this week because we're on the way to France. Yay! For the next 2 weeks, or 2 days from the away game. So, hopefully catch you on Monday. I've got another question from hypertrophy. Should be interesting. So then, thank you very much for listening. I've been Mark, and you're listening to the Online Strength Coach Podcast. Catch you next week. Have a good weekend.